Good evening.
Good evening, all. I'm Kate Gazda. I live at 2510 Pick Drive in Glenview. And I'm here to talk about, for the last time, I think, an ordinance, the possibility of an ordinance to prohibit ICE from using village property for their activities. And I know that you folks are not crazy about this idea. I think that the main reason perhaps that you're not crazy about it is that it's not enforceable. Why would you have an ordinance that you can't enforce? I hope that you can listen to some of my ideas and maybe reconsider your thoughts on this. So why would you have it if you can't enforce it? Well, the most important thing, I believe, is that it sends a message. It sends a message to the federal agents that you're not going to cede control to them, that you won't just sit back and let them use the village in however they want to. It sets that expectation that that's not going to happen. And silence on the issue would, I think, tell them, hey, it's okay, do whatever you want. And they might be thinking, well, Glenview's not pushing back like the other communities are, so let's go there. The message to residents, the same thing. Plus, the message is, we care. We care about you. We care about you not feeling unsafe. We care about you not having that kind of a fear. We care about your dignity. And we want to have your back as much as possible. And we as the board will have the courage to do as much as we can to get to that point. As you know, perception is everything. You learn that at the beginning of your career and probably before that. So even though an ordinance isn't enforceable, the perception will be, hey, Glenview cares. And I think that that's very, very good, and you all would benefit from that. The second point is that ICE cannot be allowed to obstruct the sidewalks and the streets.
About 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, boy. Okay. I think that an ordinance would give teeth to the command that police might have to get out of the way, because ICE does this. Third, the Arlington Heights unanimously passed an ordinance last night, as a matter of fact. They dealt with the issue of unenforceability by including a provision that directs the village manager and the police department to document any instances of the feds using village property and then report back to the board. And finally, my last point is, if not an ordinance, at least a resolution or statement of support for folks that are fearing ICE. I don't see any downside to that. And if you look at other...
I'm going to have to ask you to wrap up.
Okay. If you look at other websites of other villages, you'll see the statements and ordinances, or excuse me, statements and resolutions that they have on their websites. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. I've got Jennifer Burrows followed by Jim Gelderman. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Burrows. I live at 2124 Henley Street. 3 weeks ago, an 85-year-old elm tree on the parkway in front of my house was removed. It had finally succumbed to Dutch elm disease. The crew that took that tree down was all Hispanic. English was clearly not their first language. It takes a village to support a village. This fall, I watched the completion of road resurfacing on Shermer Road. The vast majority of the crews that did that difficult, dirty, grueling work were Hispanic. It takes a village to maintain our village. As I walk my dog around downtown Glenview, I frequently see crews of men who maintain yards, parks, and sports fields. They mow the grass, empty trash bins, and clean public bathrooms. Almost all of these individuals are Hispanic. It takes a village to keep our village beautiful. I could go on and on with examples of people who care for our children, the sick, and the elderly, or the people who provide janitorial services, drive school buses, work construction, and prepare food in our restaurants. Many of them are recent immigrants. They may or may not be in this country legally, but they are a vital part of our community. The village of Glenview would not be so special without all of these workers, whether they live here or not. It is our responsibility to make sure that they feel safe, secure, and valued. That's why so many residents tonight and at the previous meeting are asking this board to understand how ICE operates in our community and to take steps to minimize unnecessary harm. Glenview must communicate clearly, act decisively, and protect all of us, especially the most vulnerable. It does take a village to make Glenview what it is. And now it takes a village board with the courage to do what neighboring communities have already done. Investigate, adopt best practices, and shield this community from the fear and disruption that unchecked ICE activity can bring. Please make this a topic at an upcoming board meeting and give it the attention it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, so Jim Gelderman, followed by Beth Allen. Good evening, Mr. Gelderman.
Good evening. Jim Gelderman. I live at 1202 Waukegan Road. I'm also the Republican candidate for House District 17. I looked up with interest today the oath that you took as you became trustees, and part of that oath is to support the Constitution of the United States. These acts of insurrection and sedition that other villages are bringing out by defying the supremacy clause of the Constitution is bringing great harm to our community and to our fellow citizens. We already had one death in this community from an illegal alien who was slated for deportation, who killed her and her friend in a drunk driving incident. The community seems to not care that much about the victims of these people who are slated for deportation, not random people picked off the street. The opposition always like to conflate the criminals in our midst with people who are average people living in the community. I would ask you to uphold your oath and not defy federal agents, and actually support them as it is called for in the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, Beth Allen, followed by Ann Yoshida. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Beth Allen, and I live at 2020 Chestnut Avenue. Isn't it a wonderful country? We can have difference of opinion and be civil with each other. Thank you for hearing our concerns at the last meeting and tonight, and for the information that was put out on the newsroom section of the village website. We are grateful to Lindsay Dorfman, the director of the Glenview Public Library, and to the Glenview Police Chief Chesla, and the information that they have provided. We have a few concerns about this information. Newsroom articles are not permanent, and as new news items are added to this information will disappear. A more permanent link on the website is needed. We also ask that the staff add the Know Your Rights information to the website. This information should be published in as many languages as possible in order to make it accessible to as many people as possible. Glenview is proudly a home to a diverse population. As I have noticed to be inclusive, the library offers materials in Spanish, Korean, Mongolian, Russian, French, and other languages in order to serve all of the people of this community. The first line in the newsroom item says, the Glenview Police Department's top priority has been and will continue to be the safety and well-being of all residents, regardless of immigration status. Great, I think that's important. However, besides our residents, we have workers, business owners, shoppers, diners, and visitors to our wonderful facilities. I know that the Board of Trustees wants all people visiting our community to feel safe. Can that statement be edited to be more inclusive? Let us proclaim that Glenview is truly a place of belonging and connectivity, as you, President Jenny, stated so clearly and beautifully at the State of Village presentation last month. Those were your words. Remember that Glenview is not an island. We have many adjacent towns and villages, and we want everyone to come to our village to enjoy the amenities that we offer without fear. We want them to choose to shop, dine, and participate here, not in other locations. If we do not proclaim that people are safe here, they will choose to go elsewhere.
Got about 30 seconds.
Thank you. And it seems as though the ICE agents are not being very discerning in who they are picking up according to the statistics. And we can discuss that further, that we have differences of opinion, and that's great. But we thank you for listening to our requests and taking the right moves as a board and being proud to be part of a village. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. So I have Ann Yoshida, followed by Michael Rizzo. Good evening.
Ann Yoshida, 1135 Pam Ann Drive. As others have already expressed, I'm appreciative that there is now a message on the village website from the police department about their role in ensuring the safety of the community in the midst of ICE activity. The frequently asked questions are helpful in defining for people what the role of the police department is during the illegal and troubling incidents taking place in our suburbs. It is perplexing to me, however, that there is still no statement of care or concern from the village itself. Many of your citizens have suggested that, at a minimum, a Know Your Rights document should be made available on your website. Others have provided multiple examples of messages from other municipalities which Glenview could adapt for its own use. I know that I am the recipient of great communication from the village of Glenview when it really wants to get the word out about something. We just received a special edition e-newsletter about the new downtown development, complete with a music video, but have yet to read a message from our local government about the dangers that many of our residents face or worry about facing every day. The library is hosting a Know Your Rights webinar tomorrow night, which will be presented by North Suburban Legal Aid. These are the kinds of things the village could be helping to publicize. Please use your considerable powers of communication to reassure the vulnerable in our community of your support and to let the others know what has gone on. I have spoken to many residents who do not even realize that there have been people taken off the street right here in Glenview. We have asked for, but not yet received, your feedback about this important matter. You are the leaders of this community. What you say or do not say sets the tone for this town, and we want to hear from you. Thank you.